pre-Premier League era. Before the Premier League existed, top-flight English football was organized through the Football League. Founded in 1888, for over a century, it was the undisputed pinnacle of English club football. It featured multiple divisions, a structured promotion and relegation system, and iconic rivalries. But despite the passion, the league never commanded the massive global TV revenue or corporate sponsorship deals that would come decades later. Attending a match was a community affair. Working-class fans packed terraces shoulder to shoulder, singing anthems unique to their towns and waving handmade banners. Local pride, not profit, was the lifeblood of football. Facilities were basic, ticket prices were low, and players often lived modest lives, sometimes holding second jobs. But change was coming. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, English football faced existential challenges. The Heysel Stadium disaster, 1985, in which 39 people died due to crowd violence at a European Cup final, led to a ban on English clubs in European competition. The Hillsborough disaster, 1989, where 97 Liverpool fans were tragically crushed, exposed horrific safety lapses. The Taylor Report, 1990, commissioned in response, mandated safer, all-seater stadiums and better policing. Clubs needed serious funding to meet these requirements, and many lacked it. Simultaneously, TV broadcasters recognized football's untapped commercial potential. Satellite channels like Sky Sports were eager for exclusive premium content. Several of the top clubs saw a golden opportunity to modernize the sport, break away from the financially restrictive football league, and form a commercially independent elite division that could capitalize on football's growing popularity. The birth of the Premier League, 1992 to 1995. In February 1992, fantasy became reality when 22 top clubs broke away from the Football League to form the FA Premier League, backed by a groundbreaking TV rights deal worth £304 million with Sky Sports and the BBC. The new league had the resources and media engine needed to revolutionize English football. This deal was not just transformative, it was foundational. Clubs could now generate revenues that dwarfed previous incomes, allowing them to invest in stadium improvements, youth academies, scouting departments, and global branding campaigns. Stadiums began evolving into family-friendly venues. Merchandise exploded in popularity. The match day became an event rather than a routine. Presentation became key. Games were moved to unusual kickoff times for better global viewership. Theme music, pre- and post-match studio analysis, and multiple camera angles brought football into fans' living rooms like never before. Football became not just a game, but a television product, marketed, monetized, and mass-consumed. The influx of money also allowed clubs to buy better players and managers. It created a new division between traditional clubs that adapted and those left behind. For the first time, international fans began following English teams en masse. Football was becoming truly global, and the Premier League was leading the charge. The Manchester United Cantona era, 1992 to 2001. The club to benefit most from this brave new world was Manchester United under the legendary Sir Alex Ferguson. Having already laid a solid foundation in the late 1980s, Ferguson's United adapted swiftly to the Premier League era. A golden generation of academy talent, Ryan Giggs, David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt, and the Neville brothers provided a backbone of homegrown excellence, but the transformational moment came in 1992 with the signing of Eric Cantona from Leeds United. Charismatic, creative, and controversial, Cantona embodied the Premier League's new spirit. On the pitch, he added vision and goals. Off the pitch, he was box office. His presence turned United into not just champions, but a brand. Between 1992 and 2001, United won 7 league titles, including the iconic 1998-99 treble Premier League, FA Cup, and UEFA Champions League, a feat never matched in English football. The Bosman ruling, 1995, which allowed players to move freely at the end of their contracts, accelerated change. Clubs could now sign top-tier European players without paying transfer fees, leading to a rapid influx of foreign talent. The Premier League was evolving from a local spectacle into a continental showcase. The Arsenal and Invincibles era, 1996 to 2004. When Arsène Wenger arrived at Arsenal in 1996, he was greeted with skepticism. A Frenchman managing an English club club was rare, but Wenger's impact was seismic. He modernized English football's approach to diet, training, player conditioning, and tactics. He introduced techniques long used in continental Europe, and the results were immediate. Arsenal, long considered a conservative, defense-first side, transformed into an elegant, fluid attacking force. Players like Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, Robert Pires, and Dennis Bergkamp dazzled fans with creativity and precision. Wenger's recruitment model was revolutionary, focusing on undervalued players with high potential, often brought in young from abroad. The peak came in 2003/4 when Arsenal went the entire league season unbeaten, the Invincibles. With 26 wins, 12 draws, and 0 losses, they set a modern-era standard for consistency and class. Simultaneously, other clubs were adapting. Wenger's scientific methods influenced rivals like Liverpool, Manchester United, and Chelsea, who began incorporating sports science, nutrition, and video analysis into their training. The bar was raised for everyone. Abramovich and the Oligarch Revolution, 2003 to 2010. In June 2003, the face of club ownership changed forever. Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich bought Chelsea for around £140 million. He wasted no time, pouring over £1.5 billion into transfers, wages, and infrastructure. This level of spending was unprecedented. With Jose Mourinho at the helm from 2004, Chelsea won league titles in 2005 and 2006, ending United and Arsenal's duopoly. Their style was efficient, disciplined, and star-studded, built around big-name players like Didier Drogba, Frank Lampard, and John Terry. Abramovich's model created a ripple effect. Suddenly, every top club was chasing super-rich owners. The idea of the super club with commercial arms, global academies, and huge squads took root. Player wages soared. Agents became power brokers. The divide between the elite and the rest widened. It also changed how clubs were managed. Spending big was no longer optional. It was essential. The Premier League was no longer a meritocracy alone. Financial muscle now dictated who could compete. Sheikhs, FFP, and Tactical Revolution, 2008 to 2016. In 2008, the next transformation came. The Abu Dhabi United Group bought Manchester City, initiating a second wave of mega wealth in English football. The club went from mid-table obscurity to title contenders almost overnight. City's watershed moment came in 2011/12 when Sergio Aguero scored a last-minute goal to clinch the title on goal difference. A defining moment in Premier League history. To curb runaway spending, UEFA introduced Financial Fair Play, FFP, in 2011. Clubs had to show they were not spending significantly more than they earned, but enforcement proved tricky. Sponsorship loopholes and offshore investments diluted FFP's power. Meanwhile, on the field, a tactical revolution was underway. Pep Guardiola, appointed in 2016, introduced positional play, emphasizing precise spacing, building from the back, and total control. Jurgen Klopp brought gegenpressing to Liverpool, high energy, full-pitch pressing, and fast transitions. Tactics became more sophisticated than ever. Yet in the midst of these superpower battles, Leicester City stunned the world in 2015/16, winning the title at 5,000 to 1 odds. Powered by bargain buys like Riyad Mahrez and N'Golo Kante, they showed that smart scouting and team cohesion could still beat big money at least once. The analytics and VAR era, 2016 to 2023. Inspired by the Moneyball philosophy, clubs like Brentford and Brighton embraced data analytics to punch above their weight. Brentford's owner, a professional gambler and data enthusiast, used statistics like expected goals, XG, to build a squad that earned promotion and top-flight survival with a budget far below rivals. In 2019, the Premier League introduced VAR, Video Assistant Referee. Intended to eliminate clear and obvious errors, VAR became one of the most controversial changes in league history. Debates erupted over millimeter offside calls, subjective handballs, and lengthy delays. It improved accuracy, but arguably damaged spontaneity. Then came COVID-19. The 2019-20 season paused, then resumed in empty stadiums. Virtual crowd noise, health protocols, and global streaming models took over. It forced the league to accelerate its digital transformation and rethink fan engagement in a post-pandemic world. The modern era, 2023 to today. Today's Premier League is a spectacle of star power, commercial reach, and evolving regulations. Erling Haaland set a new benchmark in 2022-23, scoring 36 36 league goals and leading Manchester City to a historic fourth consecutive title. Guardiola's City has redefined dominance, blending elite talent with meticulous strategy. Off the pitch, the UK government is introducing a football regulator to ensure financial transparency and protect the game's competitive balance. Supporter voices are stronger, and fan backlash against failed ventures like the European Super League has shown clubs cannot ignore their base. The future brings new frontiers, semi-automated offside tech, ABBA-style penalty shootouts, extended stoppage time, and global preseason tours. The Premier League is now more than a league. It's a global entertainment empire, continuously evolving to stay at the summit of world sport.